Hello, hi everyone. Welcome and thank you for being here today. I hope you're having a gorgeous day, night, morning, middle of the night. We're going to dive in and get you a little clarity, see what would be helpful. I'm not really sure how we're going to flow today, so I figure starting with the art of life to see what the foundational focus is, and then we'll kind of bounce around from there. This reading is timeless, so whenever it finds you, it's the perfect time. See what resonates, always follow, and trust that divine inner guidance because it's in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition so your decisions are sound, based in love, and for the highest and greatest good of everyone. So we are all uplifted in love. Let's dive on in. Let's see what God's source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. That was so quick. You got the chariot. Oh, wow. You have victory. Look at you. Your chariot is a hot air balloon. So you're definitely rising above a situation, getting to see the whole landscape from a spiritual perspective. I always feel like the chariot is the road to destiny. It looks like your road to destiny is in the sky. So maybe this is clear thinking. Definitely getting over any mountains or hurdles. It's getting in the driver's seat. But here you're getting in the driver's basket. Maybe it has something to do with a harvest. Also, that looks like a big beach ball to me. So maybe it's something about emotions. When I see the beach ball, I always think of emotions that you try to keep under the surface, but then it pops up. It looks like this is something popping up, but then moving forward. It's definitely a journey. It's forward movement. It's gaining momentum. It's action. And it feels like the right path. So if something kind of blew you off course before, this is the winds of change coming back and you're getting back on the right track, on the right, I don't know. I see kind of like a wave, but I see it as air. And I just heard blowing a lot of hot air. Maybe somebody threw you off course because they threw a lot of hot air your way. Maybe you kind of pushed that hot air back to them and gained your own momentum yourself. I hope that made sense. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and you leave that trail. So Ralph Waldo Emerson, you're blazing a trail. Maybe you're blazing that trail. Maybe it's not hot air. Maybe it's like spiritual fire behind you. If the chariot is upside down, it's kind of like stalling your stick shift. You're still kind of learning how to move those gears, or you're kind of tethered or anchored to something and you're hitting full throttle, but you're not moving because you're dragging something with you. Sometimes it's kind of aimlessly wandering because you got the wrong map. But I feel like here you're creating the map. You're creating your own way. You're doing something your unique way, your unique approach. And that's why something is going to bring you to this big V, this big victory. That's really a cool place to begin. I'm happy that came through. Let's just start there and bounce. Said we were going to bounce, so let's do it. Let's go to the clarifying life situations. So what is one extra message with this victory, this momentum, this movement, the chariot? Chariot's also a Cancer energy. Ooh, what is this? The light. I did say something about getting on track, and it's interesting because I was staring at the hot air balloon, but that kind of made me think of a choo-choo train. I just thought of that song, Choo Choo Boogie. Choo Choo, Choo Choo Boogie. I don't know. Let's just keep going because that was a weird reference. Cultivate a positive mindset each morning. Oh, you have homework. Start your day with positive affirmations. Notice how positivity transforms interactions into experiences. It every experience you have is seen through a different light when you have a positive mindset. Now, this is not being like the old Pollyanna all the time. You know, things happen, days get weird, situations occur, weird thoughts slip on in. But are you conscious of it? Can you have conscious awareness to dilute or transmute that negative thought into something positive, even if it's not the same situation? So if you're like, oh man, I can't believe I failed that test. Think about, hey, but you studied really hard, or hey, you got to class every day on time, or hey, think of all the times you passed with flying colors, or even if it's like, hey, at least my hair looks good today. Whatever it is, that just positive mindset, that positive change is already changing your vibration. So I do feel like if some of you do have a test, you are going to pass with flying colors. There is something about the train, like all aboard, you're on board, you're not bored. So if there's something that you are doing, all right, so I saw that like energy when you're driving down the road and you're like, oh, what happened the last like 5 minutes? You know, who was driving? Or when you read a book and you get to the bottom of the page and you're like, I have no idea what I just read, but I know I read that page. It's maybe if you're studying or something like that, or maybe this is just an energetic, imprint for you. If there's anything where you just you're kind of lost in your mind, or you're not really into that page that you have to read, there's a way to get the information a different way. Maybe if you have a professor and you're not really grooving with the professor, maybe there's something you can do online and it's the same subject, maybe a different teacher, or maybe it's even yourself. I feel like some of you can maybe read something where you're reading it, but then hear your own voice back as far as a study method for you, or maybe it's even your own handwriting. That is one thing to retain information. If you just write it down, you started to solidify whatever you were trying to learn by putting it on paper. So there's maybe something about taking your own notes, or hearing, something back with your own voice or somebody else. I hope that's helpful. I think that was kind of a side message for some of you, because I do feel like some of you have, if you're like, I see that like failing the test thing. And if you feel like you're just not getting it, it's not that you can't get it. It's just that where you're getting it from is not grooving with you. People have different styles of learning, how they retain, gather, and like really hear information. Some people need to hear something. Some people need to have their hands on it and actually do it as a demonstration. Some people need to see it presented. Some people have to have something, on repeat, or hear something a couple of times. Some people have to write it down. Some people have to write it down, but highlight in different colors, circle different things, and put it in a pattern that looks like, I don't know what that's called, where you have the lines connecting to the different things, almost like you're connecting the dots on something. And some people need something very structured, number 1, A, B, C, D, E. So I hope that helps. I don't think everyone's in school, but I do feel like even if there's some kind of information you are trying to gain, I actually hear a brighter understanding at. I feel like maybe if you just change your approach, everything kind of solidifies, it gets you back on track. And even here with the mountains, usually the mountains are obstacles. So there's something about the right momentum or engine or spiritual fire or creative energy to pull you over the mountain. I don't know why I just thought of what is that called? The little engine that could. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. It's like an old cartoon, like really old. Maybe it's that. You think you can. If you think you can't, you're probably right. If you think you can, you're probably right. Let's continue. Let's do this one. I brought this out. I haven't used it. I think this is the healing one. Whispers of healing. Let's get it. Let's get a whispers of healing. I just hear that over and over now. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Maybe it's a solution. Maybe it is about mindset. What is I don't think these are flippers. So let's get one message that would be helpful. Please and thank you. Mental repetition. Wow. Didn't I just hear that? I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Wow, you have mental repetition coming on in. Oh, I'm glad I pulled these cards. What is the number? It's number 28. Look at your hair. It's like your hair is growth, branching out. You're ready to blossom. You also look really comfortable and you're rooted. So there could have been something that was growing, deep, strong roots underneath the surface, and you can't quite see that growth. A tree has growth that goes down away from the sun, and a tree has the opposite, the branches that grow up towards the sun, towards the light. So there's something about as above, so below, as within, so without. So right now it is paying attention to your thoughts. Your thoughts are going to switch up everything for you. If you were thinking, oh man, I always fail. Oh man, I never get up that hill. Oh man, that bullshit always happens to me over there. Then, you know, you're creating your own reality, or you're at least in the position where what you're thinking about is what you notice. If you want to have solutions, just be like, even if I'm not having a solution right now, I know I'm a genius. I know I can invent something. I know I can figure out a different way through it. It's going to come sometime. And you're already mentally open to those solutions coming in. You know, it's like when you drive down the road and all of a sudden one day you're like, wow, was that thing in front of that person's yard for the last 8 years that I've driven down this road, or they just put it up yesterday and it was probably there for 8 years, but you never noticed. So it's also noticing synchronistic energy, repeating patterns in your life. So notice numbers, names, birth dates, things on license plates, bumper stickers, road signs, you know, numbers on your receipt, whatever it is. The more you notice, check. Actually, I'm getting that, write it down. I feel like that message came through another time. I feel like if some of you start a synchronicity journal, you are going to be mentally blown away when you look back at how many times you have some synchronistic moments happen to you. It doesn't have to be numbers. It can be that conversation you had with your friend and then something appears in your life the next day. What a coinky dink. No, it's not. It's a reflection of your inner world connecting to your outer one. And the more you notice it and actually have conscious awareness that that was like a little miracle, thank you, miracle, bring more please, then the more they happen. So I do feel like if you write it down, you're going to start to see more and more positive results, more and more solutions, more and more spiritual road signs to get you towards this victorious energy of destiny. It's feeling like you are constantly fulfilling your purpose. You know what? I just thought of something really interesting. I was watching something on Bruce Lee, and it had something to do with his like last phone call he made to a dear friend, and he was his, you know, his same self, like, you know, really bold, but he had become more introspective at the end of his life, or before his life ended. And in this conversation, his friend said something to him where, you know, you're not as hot-headed or something like that anymore. It looks like you've gained maturity. And he said, there's no such thing as maturity. It's maturing man, or something like that, where once you hit maturity, it's like the nail in the coffin, you're done. But it should always be a constant maturing of who we are, how we grow, what we are becoming. It's never that end result and then you're done. If you hit that, then that's the done. So there's something here where you keep branching out, you keep expanding, you keep growing. And that tree goes through seasons. So there's a time for rest, and then there's a time to like spring alive, and there's a time to let things that aren't working kind of fall away. There's a time to thrive. I really like that came through. where should we bounce to next? Maybe an angel number, since I saw all of those numbers. Once I put these decks together, I did not separate them again. So there's 3 different angel number decks, included 3 in 1. Maybe it's 3, creativity. I don't know why I just saw a sale. Maybe some of you have a store or something like that and you do some kind of sale. I thought like buy 3, get 1 free. Or maybe you come across something that's a sale. Maybe it's sailing. I think that's a song, Sail, by Nation or something like that is the band name. Sail. So let's get 1 angel number, please and thank you. 2222. Wow. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? I appreciate you. I just cheerlead. I was not a cheerleader. I was a majorette. Maybe you do something with cheerleading. You're finding your cheerleader. Maybe you're your own cheerleader. That was a really, thank you for being here. I'm such a dork. All right. What is this? Oh, I like this. It's feminine forces. Oh, that's kind of nice. A little conundrum going on there. So also it's an 8. Which is like it's like the infinity, you know, something always coming back around, going up, going down. It's also a number of power and manifestation and prosperity and abundance. Feminine forces. It's about relationships, balance, prosperity, efficiency, patience, and humility. I love the energy of humility because it's so strong to have conscious awareness of messing up, owning it, you know, knowing that you did something that maybe you didn't like, but you have the humbleness to have that growth. It's like the opposite of that pompous. You always have the right, you know, you always do everything right, or you always know the right way and all this, and you don't ever kind of go back and say, maybe that way wasn't so good. How can I change? How can I grow? How can I do something different? What did I learn from being that weirdo in that situation? You know, it's like having conscious awareness that we are human. We always mess up. So it says you here can do everything by yourself, but life is to be shared. You know, no man is an island. So maybe some of you do like to do something, you know, you want to blaze your own path. You know, you're conscious in your mind and you're always in introspection of how you can grow and adapt and change and become. But we are here, we are all one. We are all children of God. And community, or us connecting with others, is part of how we actually do grow. The experiences we get to have. Otherwise, you're like Tom Hanks on that island who ends up talking to his basketball all the time. So there is something about maybe not being so much of a hermit. Maybe if some of you are doing something where you like your own time, you know, you like your alone space, but maybe it's just switching something up and making some new connections. Maybe some of you have some new connections coming in. Partner up with the right spirit and you'll become a force. I mean, that's pretty strong. And honor commitments and people around it. Don't judge, just listen. You can't ever know what somebody else is truly thinking, what it's truly like to see their situation from their eyes. You can hear them out if somebody wants to open up with that vulnerable energy, that humility, but you're never gonna really know what it's like to really feel their feelings. I am getting that some of you are empathetic, and you know, you have a good idea of what people are going through, but you never really know what it's like to walk in their shoes. Just like no one's ever gonna know what it's like for what it's like as you walk in your shoes. You know, you can explain your story, you can explain your thoughts, you can explain your feelings, you can explain, but no one's gonna really know what it's like. You can give them, you know, give them a good idea, but there's something about you maybe being the one to open up, or there's something here where somebody wants to open up to you. Don't have preconceived notions on their situation until I'm getting you hear it directly from the horse's mouth. There's something about you hearing some information and that eases a lot of stress, or eases something that you almost had anxiety or got overwhelmed with, because you were creating the narrative or creating the story or filling in the gaps of what someone else is going through because you didn't have all the information. There's something here where the information is going to come in. I'm also getting that if some of you are or will be connecting with a typically more masculine energy, gender does not matter, that this is somebody starting to step into their feminine potential, their feminine power, the art of allowance. So let's continue. I said the art of allowance. Let's go back to the art of life. So what is a deeper message on the Chariot? What's going on with the Chariot? Number 28, number 2222, and major arcana number 7. Wow, I just went into German. Maybe you're German, or you speak German. This is definitely somebody who's a thinker. This is definitely somebody who knows how to have a conversation. This is definitely somebody who likes to be open-minded, and usually they're good. I just heard the gift of gab. So maybe they're not like a talker all the time, but when you get them going, or you get them talking about the right subject, or they're with the right person they enjoy having a conversation with, that this person is like a talker. I also feel like this is somebody who knows how to be silent, who knows how to just listen. This is usually somebody that can have good advice, but also knows the difference when somebody just needs to be heard. I feel like there's something about this particular king, whether this is you or somebody you are connecting to, starting to tap into that feminine side. Because this is somebody who definitely knows how to like go on in with that sword, start that conversation, be the first to say hello, be the one to ask somebody out, knock on the door and, you know, create an interview in a situation where they weren't even looking for somebody to represent that part of the company. Whatever it is, this is somebody who's not afraid to talk, to be the squeaky wheel. This is somebody who has a lot of information. They know how to change that information, kind of like that teacher thing. This is the teacher that would know that they have different students who learn different ways, so they present the information either how all of them grasp and have fun learning, or how they need to say the information different for different people so it is heard. The King of Swords is usually Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Sometimes I see the King of Swords kind of like a jack of all trades. Sometimes they have a really intense and like deep knowledge on a certain subject, or on those subjects they're really into. And sometimes they kind of gather, like they have all the brain files from all the different people that they talk to and all the different information they're kind of curious about. And they have like little bits, but you know, little bits of wisdom. They're usually pretty bright. It's not like the salt energy where they don't really know what they're talking about. They're smart. This is a smart person. So it's like they have all these little, you know, highlights, these little clues, these little like bubbles of wisdom about many different things. So it doesn't really matter who they talk to. They could kind of hold their own in any conversation. And if they don't know about a subject, this is somebody who knows how to ask the questions so they can learn more. King of Swords can be a little cold in the heart because they don't always talk about their emotions. They're not always, not that they don't feel those emotions, but they're more comfortable talking about the logical stuff than the love stuff. So the great virtue is the real courage to face facts and then live beyond them. I mean, here you're above and beyond. I would say the King of Swords, if the King of Swords had the blinders on, they wouldn't have all those medals on their chest. if they box something in and never expanded, they never achieve all of these goals. If they only had one goal they wanted to get to and didn't think about what goes on after that, there is no room for expansion. So if this is somebody that completely closes off their heart, then they can be logical as they like, but they might always feel like they have to achieve that next goal, and then maybe happiness comes. When the King of Swords has conscious awareness of what he loves, or those subjects that bring him joy, or that person, or those people that even soften him up, then his direction is always towards this destiny energy. It's always towards the connection of his spirit, and not just stuck in the logic of the ego. If the King of Swords is upside down, he can be kind of nasty, actually. He can say things just to get what he wants and not think about the repercussions of how that could cause somebody pain. He can use his intelligence to even throw somebody else off. If he thinks that throwing somebody else off their game pushes him towards more of those metals somehow. He's kind of cold upside down, but it looks like this person has achieved a lot. It looks like this person is also interesting, has pearls of wisdom, or has these crystal balls around him. So there definitely is something about his throne connecting to information that's a little more in the ether, and that has given him the guidance to achieve all that success. So I feel like this is like some kind of secret society thing here with all these medals. Portrait of John James Howell, a known English artist. Yeah, it's a library and museum of Freemasonry, London, UK. So there's something about all of these logical society things, but then he's tapping into the secrets of the unknown, the occult, the hidden, the I'm kind of getting what is the word I want? I don't know, but I just thought of a book that I'm going to grab for us. Hold on. I also think because I got kind of tongue-tied, there's something about where this King of Swords is generally very good about speaking up. I feel like there's something where he's maybe getting ready to speak up again, or maybe there was a closed throat chakra. He does have a big ribbon right there around his throat. So maybe something is going to open up, or this king had a loss of words, but I feel like once a conversation starts, the words will start to flow again. And this is the book that I was thinking of. It's the Hermetic. These are the words: Hermetic, Hermeticism, Alchemy, Mysticism. This is the Hermetic Museum's Alchemy and Mysticism. And every once in a while, I like to just grab the book, open it up, and see what comes out. So let's do it. Oh, what is this? Genesis. I just thought of, I don't think it's Genesis, but I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. That song. So I don't even know. It's about the Saturn 9 restriction. Jupiter promises good fortune and wealth. His children are the great dignitaries of society. Well, that looks like this. Hey, of society. And yet whoever this is amongst society is diving into the hidden realm to get them along. I hope that makes sense to some of you. The phrase of multiplication in the work assigned to him. The mass is the restort, is the seizing transitional stage, indicated by fighting birds, clad in the 3 colors of work. It's like these birds are inside this, almost like a laboratory thing. I'm gonna let you look at this picture. Look at those birds fighting inside of that, like, tube. There's a crown on there. There's people down here at a desk, but the desk isn't inside of a house. It's just kind of outside. I'll let you see this one too. We're only going to look at the one. So, weird little bonus here today. Let's get something else. I actually want to know a little more about this King of Swords. Why is the King of Swords coming through? Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. And these are the crystal ball things I was looking at. So foresight, insight, divination. I feel like this person is using a little more of their intuition to help them with something they possibly logically were sitting on, or it was a conundrum, or they were trying to figure out. Tell us about the King of Swords. Why is the King of Swords here? You know what I kind of see with this king? I feel like this king, usually like think of like an Aquarius kind of energy. You know, they, like once they kind of disconnect, they disconnect. They don't like latch on to it. They're just kind of done. Once they put their mind that that thing is not working anymore, ciao, peace. And I feel like there's something that this king tried to disconnect from, and it actually became a conundrum. It felt like he couldn't disconnect, whether that's an idea, a thing, or maybe even a person. So there's something about a solution, or that there's a soul's urge or a soul contract that he's actually supposed to connect to this thing that maybe his logical mind told him he wasn't supposed to connect to. I hope that made sense. Tell us a little more about the King of Swords. Yeah, Two of Cups. So there's a person. There's something that he tried to disconnect from because maybe that love didn't make logical sense to him. Maybe it was a love that was so dear and deep he didn't know how to express it, or maybe there was something that was gonna go wrong, or that fantasy could never come true, or I don't know, he couldn't make logical sense of how his heart felt about, you can't like, it's not like you choose who you fall in love with. That's like a soul thing. It's a connection. It's the heart's truth. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense. It's just an is. I love the Two of Cups though. The Two of Cups is where two people just choose. Not in a big choice kind of format. Like check all the boxes, weighing the pros and the cons. It's just a soul choice that two people want to be together. They enjoy spending time with one another. They can be out there, on the veranda looking at the boats, not even talking, and enjoy their time just as much as being in the bedroom, just as much as going shopping, just as much as having an amazing conversation that dives down the rabbit hole. I love you not only for who you are, but for who I am when I am with you. That's so beautiful. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. So there's something about this person having growth, this person feeling expansion, this person maybe even feeling like their authentic truth is different around a certain person, because the reflection between that dynamic, that partnership is so beautiful that it creates this internal desire for whoever this is to actually be a better person. Not for that other person, but also for his or herself. It's being inspired by someone that you can do better than that somebody believes in you, that they're your cheerleader, that they know you have potential to expand and to grow, that they have had conversations about all those experiences you want to have in your life. And this is somebody that encourages you to have them. This is also somebody that you want to have those experiences with. The Terrace of Santa Adresi, Claude Monet, Metropolitan Museum of Art, NYC. Maybe if some of you live near New York, you can go see that painting. Look at how it looks like you can just see the sunlight. You can feel the wind. I can almost smell the way the ocean smells. There's also a lot of boats out there. There's also boats that have engines and boats that have sails. So maybe it's just the difference between the force of getting the motor running and knowing when you just have to put up your sails and let the wind blow you down that river of life or that ocean of emotion. Let's see what's at the bottom. The Nine of Wands. Look at this girl. Actually, it's very androgynous. I'm not really even getting a gender with this one, but whoever this is, they have that sassy red dress on. Lady in red. And they're in like the jungle. She's like, I mean, I don't have my jungle attire, but I do have my sassy red dress. So this is somebody who's not afraid to stand out. The Nine of Wands is where something is almost over. The Nine of Wands is standing up for who you believe in and what you believe in. The Nine of Wands is sometimes where somebody feels broken and bent and out of shape, like they've been through the ringer and they don't know if they can do it again. That jungle looks like it's so hot. The umbrella's not even working, you know, cooling her down. She's gonna have to take that red dress off soon and walk like that show. What is that? The Naked in the Jungle show, except then you're gonna get bit with all of those weird mosquitoes. So maybe keep the red dress on, keep the red dress on. But it's where somebody feels stressed out. But if somebody's stressed out because they're not attuned or having experiences that their heart truly desire, that would stress someone out physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. If somebody is stressed out because there's an unrequited love and it's a constant battleground and one person feels differently than the other, or maybe something was a certain way, but then, you know, the paths split. People are on different timelines. People aren't growing the same way. One person is always, you know, thinking something's going to go wrong, and one person's like, I think I can. Why do you always think we can't? That's not that cheerleader support. Then this could be where somebody's stressed out because there's a partnership they need to end and they're not speaking up. It could also be where somebody spoke up and they're the one that doesn't want a partnership to end, but they're not allowing that beautiful energy of freedom, free will, and authentic, unconditional love towards the other person. Because to keep somebody on hold where they don't want to be there, it just stresses everybody out. And it doesn't help either person to blossom into a new chapter in their life where they could be with someone that makes them happy. Or they could be doing their own thing where they are individually or independently satisfied, happy. It says you can do everything by yourself, but life is to be shared. So if somebody is constantly feeling like they are in the battleground and who they're sharing their life with is not satisfying, it doesn't feel like it fills up their cup, it feels like a mismatch, then this has to be where, you know, it's losing the battle to win the war. Or maybe throwing that war energy out the window altogether and going to where it's warm and sunshine. If this is a situation where somebody has to really stand up for the love they believe in, then that's the battle worth fighting. If this is somebody that, like that, like the vice versa tarot, where this person's going through it, but they know that thing at the end, that person that they go home to, that goal that they set for themselves, that place in the world that they wanted to visit, you know, or that business that they wanted to achieve is worth all of those hard energies that somebody goes through, because they've become now the wounded healer. Through all of those wounds, they learn to get up again. They learn to heal again. They learn to have that strength where even if it's like that teacher, they get to connect to others. Now, let's just say you are an empath. Let's just say you are a natural healer, and there's something, whether this is one huge battle or many that you've gone through in your life, where now you get to connect to somebody who is, where's that, opening up to you. You are listening, and even if your battleground was not the same, you've been through the ringer before. So when you hear that person, you're like, whew. I mean, I can't imagine what it was really like to be in your situation, but I know how I felt in some of my own, and I just really connect to you via soul to soul, and I want you to know you were heard. It's the difference between, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That sounds like it sucked. And someone like, no, dude, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Do you want to go get pizza? Can we go get ice cream now? Can we all get you one milkshake, 2 straws, please? It's that difference. But sometimes it takes those moments to know what's worth continuing to fight, what's worth letting go of. Having that beautiful insight on what you went through was there to give you strength, or how you went through something and now you have the strength to go where you don't need to work so hard. It doesn't always have to be a battleground. In times of stress, be bold and valiant. Horus. I feel like there's something about you just definitely like, you're like rolling out your red carpet. You know what? You fall down, get back up again and keep going. I also feel like there's something about either this king or you, or maybe you together, where it's okay to go through something and to fall down, because it's getting up stronger, doing it better. Rooting something in the earth, but tapping into that spiritual perspective. All right, I hope this reading was helpful today. It was quite a different reading. But I gotta kind of boogie. Can we, since we're ending with a hot air balloon, can we get you one more from the universe? Of course, uno más, por favor. What did I hit, like German and Spanish today? What is one more? Please and thank you. One more message from the universe. All right, what do we have? I know that you have, well, I did see him questioning something. I know you've been questioning yourself lately, wondering, are you good enough? Are you strong enough to do that which your heart truly desires to do? The message here is to remind you that you really are more capable of doing it. I think I can. Rise up. Take that leap of faith. It's going to get you on the right track. It's going to feel fulfilling in your heart and connect you to the right people, whatever, vibration that is, whether it is love, romance, friends, soul family, beautiful little, almost like earth angels that you might meet for a moment or a conversation, but maybe make all the difference in your life towards this victory where you feel like your soul gets to keep elevating. With this, I bid you adieu. I gotta go. I love you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.